I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference.
Because Katt Williams really isn't saying or doing anything.
Yeah, he's not saying anything.
He's on hiatus. His tour is supposed to start back up, the next leg of it. He's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. But there's a lot of action around his name. I would have to agree about that.
Offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times.
Dave Chappelle did the Dalon situation. I feel like Dave Chappelle should have gave that boy a check because that Dalon skit that Dave Chappelle did actually helped blow Dave Chappelle up. 100%, no matter how that sounds. And I was the reason, Chopper, they'll tell you, why we even did the Chappelle show. Is because the first, I think it's the first season of Making the Band, it came out, and the Dave Chappelle show came out. Like, I like comedy, me, you dig? I can lay back and watch comedy all day and night.
Dave, he was a werewolf, and he was just looking like in the air, and he said, I guess 50 million is not enough.
When you look at the landscape of comedy today, very few figures hold the same raw power and authenticity as Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams. They are not just comedians, they are observers of life, storytellers of truth, and survivors of an industry that often punishes honesty. For years, both men have spoken out about the dark corners of Hollywood, each in their own way. Dave uses subtle wit and layered humor to make audiences think without realizing it. Katt, on the other hand, uses directness, sharpness, and sometimes pain to strip away the illusion completely. But recently, something happened that made people pay closer attention. Dave Chappelle's comments about Katt Williams on stage and his SNL monologue filled with coded humor about Diddy and other powerful figures made audiences realize that maybe, just maybe, these two men are telling different chapters of the same story. A story about truth, control, and the high price of integrity in Hollywood.
In the hall with y'all from Baltimore, man. Reggie Curl on tour with Katt Williams, allegedly found dead, shot 5 times in front of Katt Williams' home. Allegedly, Katt Williams' cousin was arrested for wow.
Katt Williams has become the voice that refuses to stay quiet. He has built his reputation not on playing the Hollywood game, but on exposing it. Over the years, he has openly criticized some of the biggest names in entertainment. Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer. But his message has always been consistent. The comedy industry has a problem with authenticity.
People like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you. So you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to.
Katt believes there are too many chosen comedians, people who rise fast because they play along with industry expectations. He's questioned how some stars get endless opportunities, while others, equally talented, get sidelined for speaking their minds. To his fans, that honesty makes him real. It makes him relatable. But to Hollywood executives, it makes him dangerous. That's why the media often portrays him as unstable or controversial. They want the public to focus on his outbursts rather than his message. Because if people start listening closely, they'll realize Katt has been describing how power actually works in Hollywood. And that's something the industry would rather keep quiet. Dave Chappelle knows what it means to walk away from power. When he left Chappelle's show at the height of its success, the world called him crazy. The media twisted the story, suggesting he had lost control or couldn't handle fame. But in truth, he saw something behind the curtain that most people never see. He saw how art can be turned into control, how money can be used as a leash, how creative freedom comes with invisible chains.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress because, when you're a guy that generates money, people have a vested interest in controlling.
Years later, when Dave returned, he came back smarter, calmer, and more strategic. His comedy became sharper and more philosophical. He began weaving truth into laughter. So when he stood on stage at Saturday Night Live and made jokes about Diddy's troubles, the audience laughed, but many felt there was more to it. He wasn't just mocking a celebrity's downfall. He was showing that he's seen what power does to people and that he's not afraid to talk about it. When Dave Chappelle spoke about Katt Williams at the Hollywood Improv, the comedy world listened. His words were honest, and his tone carried both concern and challenge. He questioned why Katt was attacking other black comedians instead of focusing on the bigger picture, the system itself. He said, "Katt is one of the best painters in the game, so why are you drawing ugly pictures of us?" That line hit hard. It wasn't just a critique, it was a reminder. Dave was telling Katt that his voice is powerful, but power can also hurt if not used carefully.
Didn't once the fake Dave Chappelle argue with the fake Katt Williams on Twitter?
Well, yeah, what happened, what happened was, okay, I tried to sign up on Twitter, and I put my name in and said, this name is already in use. You can't use celebrity names. I'm like, that's odd. So I went to see who was using it, and it was a fake Dave Chappelle. This nigga had like my pictures and everything. This is when Twitter was brand new. And I thought, I gotta put a stop to this. But then I started reading this and they were hilarious. So I figured, this will work out. I don't gotta pay this guy or nothing. And I'll be getting this good comedy reputation. And every morning I wake up and get some coffee and just check in on Twitter and see what this fake Dave Chappelle fellow was up to. Funny stuff every morning, but then he goes rogue. he starts like attacking celebrities that are friends of mine. And of all these celebrities, Katt Williams, well, Katt Williams wasn't having that. So Katt and fake Dave Chappelle start going in on it. And the problem was that Katt Williams was saying things to fake Dave Chappelle that was hurting real Dave Chappelle's feelings.
Here's the asterisk of the story.
Right. I catch up with Katt in L.A. Do you remember this? And I'm like, Katt, can I talk to you for a second? He's like, of course. And I go, away from Shook. and then me and Katt walk off in the corner. I go, look, nigga, I just want you to know, I've never had a Twitter account. Katt's like, so I've never had a Twitter account either. I said, what? I was like, what?
I still don't have a Twitter account.
It turns out it was a fake Dave Chappelle and a fake Katt Williams. But Katt's fake was funnier than my fake.
They were great. They're great fakes.
That's a real story.
You're the best storyteller.
Then Dave said something even more revealing. If I told my story, it would break your heart. With that, he reminded everyone that both he and Katt have suffered under the same system. They just chose different ways to survive it. Chappelle hides his truth in laughter, while Katt throws his truth like a grenade. And both methods, in their own way, shake the foundation of Hollywood runs on silence. Every deal, every endorsement, every casting choice depends on people not asking too many questions. But Katt Williams refuses to stay silent. That is why the industry fears him.
But in the meantime, in between time, ladies and gentlemen, Cookie.
What?
What's happening?
Nothing, man.
You toured with Katt.
Yeah, I toured with him. That's why that gas joke is my mother.
Ooh.
That's my joke. I did that joke on a 100-city tour with him. I was the opener. I did the gas joke. With no other doing comedy doing the gas jokes. And all them books you did not come up with that joke. I don't care what nobody says.
So
my joke.
Obviously you and
They
Katt.
just use different words. They revamped it. Even when he walk up, he go 20 or 11. I go black people only put 10 on their car. Give me 10 on that Escalade and I walk away. You know.
I've heard people steal my joke and do that. Well, you DC, you said OJ. I said Orenthal.
Yeah.
Now you also wrote for Katt, right?
Yeah, I used to write. Actually, I used to write for him. He paid me well. I can't say that he didn't.
Okay.
But the reason, the reason I got away from Katt is because Katt beat women.
Take your time now. Wait a minute. Take time.
Whoa, what?
He beat women.
Yeah, our ratings go up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he beat women. That's
What
why
you
I
mean he beat women?
I don't want to be messy now.
I'm not being messy when I'm telling the truth. Didn't he say this the year of the truth? Didn't he say that, huh?
He didn't put hands on you.
Hell, was that nigga talking?
Ooh. Dang.
Oh, you
I
look like
punched
you
that stomach like he was talking about setting.
Yeah,
I
go
give a fuck.
Wait a minute.
So we.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back
Yeah,
to Katt hitting women because I like Katt. So was it that the female hit him and he hit her back?
Did I say that? What did I say? How you gonna question what I say? I was there.
Okay.
I was there. I seen it. I patched up.
Ooh. Ooh.
Duct tape.
Don't tell me what I seen.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? You defending people. You defending people. I'm defending some people.
I ain't defending.
Not you. I'm talking about him. He
Okay.
defending certain people. I'm defending people. He used to beat women. I hang out with women. That's because you beat on them. You find the ones you can beat on, and you fucking beat.
Well, is that what does that go with him being a pimp? Because pimps generally that kind of go with
did that go with
the
Diddy
job
being a
title.
pimp?
I mean, I'm not excusing the behavior, but being that he say he's a pimp, doesn't that kind of go with the job title?
The character was a pimp.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So he's not actually a pimp.
No.
Well, can I say this? I mean, I would like to say this, and I'm not saying that you are. I'm not denying your accusations, but why now? If you've always known that, and I've seen you, and you've had a platform, why now that he's quote unquote viral, bring that out?
He doesn't have a powerful agency protecting him. He doesn't have a network deciding what he can or can't say. And he doesn't owe anyone favors. That makes him unpredictable. He can walk on any stage and say something that no publicist can clean up. That is why the media often tries to spin his narrative. painting him as a problem instead of a prophet. Because if the public ever starts believing that Katt is right, then the entire structure of celebrity control starts to look fake. Every star who seems untouchable suddenly becomes questionable, and that is what the industry fears most: losing control of the story. Integrity has a price. For Katt Williams, it has cost him opportunities, friendships, and sometimes even his safety. One story that still stands out is his refusal to accept an inappropriate storyline in Friday After Next. Katt didn't want to be part of something that he felt didn't align with his morals. That one decision marked him as difficult in the eyes of some producers, but to him, it was worth it.
Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. Motherfucker, I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was.
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying.
Dave Chappelle faced a similar crossroad years earlier when he turned down millions of dollars and walked away from Chappelle's show. People thought he had lost everything, but he later revealed that walking away saved his peace of mind. Both comedians made the same choice: truth over comfort, and that's what makes them unique. They remind audiences that fame without freedom is just another kind of prison. In a world that rewards compliance, they chose conscience. During Katt Williams' Heaven on Earth tour in 2025, tragedy struck when comedian Reggie Carroll lost his life in a shooting incident. The story sent shockwaves through the entertainment world and immediately placed Katt back under the harsh light of public scrutiny.
Questions mounting after the death of a comedian in South Haven, Mississippi. 52-year-old Reginald Carroll was shot and killed last week, and 38-year-old Trinell Marquise Williams has been charged in his death. People we talked to said the two were very familiar with each other. Posts on social media say Carroll was recently on tour with Katt Williams, and multiple people tell WREG the suspect served as security.
Although there was no evidence connecting Katt to the event, the tragedy became another example of how chaos often seems to surround him. But perhaps it's not a coincidence. Perhaps it's the price of living on the edge of truth. Whenever Katt is involved, the energy shifts, the tension rises. People either defend him or attack him, but no one can ignore him. And that might be why the industry keeps him at arm's length. He represents everything Hollywood tries to suppress: pain, honesty, rebellion, and fearlessness. His existence alone challenged the illusion of control.
Told this whole story about how Reggie was this kind of dude and Reggie was that kind of dude, and how there was one night that he wasn't even around. And Reggie was at some comedy event. I guess he was doing security that night. He wasn't a comedian that night. He was doing security, and so he ran up on somebody that was talking badly about this guy, and he corners the guy and calls the comedian and gets on the phone with him and says, "What you want me to do? Because I can break him down, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can knock him out, and yada yada yada, whoopty whoopty whoop. You tell me what to do, and I got it." And the guy was like, that's just the kind of good-hearted dude Reggie was, and I had to tell him, no, let him live. It's okay, it's all right. And I'm just like, hey, that sounds a little unhinged to me. Like, coming from somebody who used to be wild in my younger days, and don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of, scuffles and squabbles and all kinds of stuff. But I'm really glad to know that in the past 15 years of my life, people don't have stories like that to tell about me anymore. They might have a lot of other stuff to say, But there's not a whole lot of stories about me, being, wild, reckless, putting myself in danger or putting anyone else in danger. And it makes you wonder, if people want people to see him as a victim in all of this, why are they spending so much time painting him out to be somebody who's really emotional, who gets out of themselves quite easily and needs to be, like even Corey, when Corey was, before he even got into everything that happened, for what he knew, because the thing is there were a lot of people that were saying a lot about this case and had no official information at all. There was this story, there was that story, there was this story, there was that story, and nobody would corroborate where they got the story from. Because they didn't get it from the news. So who did they get it from?
Right.
So anyway, and even Corey was like, yeah, this one night, and I had to grab him. He was 5'9", you know what I mean? But he was, he was strong, and Corey is a big guy. He said, I had to grab him and I had to pull him. And he came back to me, he was like, man, I'm glad you pulled me by my collar and you know. I don't know. And
what did you think of? What do you think
talks about what a great guy he is. I just don't understand why the first stories that people need to tell are the most negative. You know what I haven't heard people talk a lot about? His jokes. Like, of all of the things that people are talking about, because Reggie's this and Reggie's that, and he wasn't on the Knockout Kings of Comedy tour for nothing, because he could knock somebody out, and he could do this and he could do that, but I'm still waiting to hear what his best joke was. Like, of all of the people that are talking about how terrible this is, why is no one talking about his artistry? And why is the first thing that people are talking about is how physically unhinged and volatile he could be? If I was him, I'd be pissed.
When Dave Chappelle joked about Diddy's scandal on SNL, the audience laughed, but insiders were silent. Chappelle's humor was cutting, almost surgical. He joked about the raid on Diddy's home and the absurdity of the evidence, but behind the laughter was a warning. He was reminding the world that there are powerful people in entertainment whose secrets are darker than most can imagine. And when those secrets come to light, the entire image of Hollywood begins to crack. Dave has seen it all. He's been invited to those parties, offered those deals, and given those choices. And through humor, he finds a way to expose the truth without saying too much. He uses laughter as a shield and as a weapon, because he knows that once you stop laughing, you start asking questions.
And the one thing that I do know, especially when it comes to whistleblowers who speak out and who speak out fearlessly on really, really heavy matters, they don't always orchestrate situations to trap them up, to make them look bad. Sometimes they just wait for something bad to happen, and then there's the opportunity to pile on. Which is why I've had absolutely nothing to say about it. It's kind of wild to see how many, everyone talks about how this was Reggie Carroll's big break.
Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle are like mirrors reflecting the same truth from different angles. Katt uses fire, while Dave uses reflection. Both methods reveal something powerful, that Hollywood is not just an entertainment industry, it is a control system built on silence and fear. When Katt speaks, the room shakes. When Dave speaks, people listen twice. Together, they form a rare combination. Two comedians who see the game clearly, but refuse to become part of it. They both carry the same message: stay free, stay honest, and never let the system define who you are. And maybe that is why both men continue to survive despite the pressure. They are not owned by Hollywood, and that independence makes them both unpredictable and unstoppable.
I feel like Dave Chappelle owe him a check is because when Dave Chappelle did the Dallon situation, I feel like Dave Chappelle should have gave that boy a check, because that Dallon skit that Dave Chappelle did actually helped blow Dave Chappelle up. 100%, no matter how that sounds. And I was the reason, Chopper, they'll tell you, why we even did the Chappelle show. It's because the first, I think it's the first season of Making the Band, it came out, and the Dave Chappelle show came out. Like, I like comedy, you dig? I can lay back and watch comedy all day and night. Corey Mahokam and all them people, I could watch them all night. I seen the Dave Chappelle show come out, and when we came back for season 2, I was just telling them, like, y'all gotta watch this Dave Chappelle show, and everybody looked at me weird. But the publicist, who was actually Keith Murray, either baby mama or wife or something, she was actually our publicist. And she was like, he is funny, isn't he? I was like, yeah, you should get it. You should try to contact him. And next thing you know, she contacted him and he came to the house, and that's how we ended up doing the Dave Chappelle skit. Thanks, Chop.
So that's what it was then. That's the reason why Dallon wasn't showing up to the meetings and all that.
Yes, that's exactly why. Dallon ain't show up because he felt like he can do better by himself. He already had the fame and the popularity. So why not? You dig? And to me, honestly, I should have done the same shit. My old young, dumb duck ass. I guess that's why when they say 18 and over, you should probably be 18 and over, because my young, dumb ass ain't know no better. I was fucking all the groupies, getting all this money, and not even knowing the money that I'm thinking I'm getting is pennies on a dollar. Ain't that a bitch? I love life. But you couldn't tell. That's why the industry loves signing young, dumb niggas. You heard me? Because you could get them pennies of the dollars and make $30 million off of them. You ever notice the industry don't sign 25, 26-year-old? They don't f with all that. Because if you know better, you're going to be hard to deal with. That's why they sign the youngsters, you dig? That's why, to all you artists out here, you heard me? Come in with your own motion, your own bag, little daddy, towards you. Come in this bitch and can't nobody tell you shit. That's why I roll the way I roll right now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You heard me? I move how I want to move. You understand me? Because I'm in my own bag. You heard me? Come into a situation with your own money. Don't come into this bitch for help, you dig? Because they gonna help you, all right? They gonna help you, all right? He said facts.
In the end, both Chappelle and Katt stand as reminders of what happens when truth meets power. They have seen how the industry works from the inside, how success can come with invisible strings, how truth tellers become targets, and how laughter can reveal things that words alone cannot. Dave Chappelle saw what happened to Katt Williams, and maybe he saw what could have happened to himself. He knows that once you see behind the curtain, you can never unsee it. You can never go back to pretending.
But if Katt can sit down on Shay Shay and say all the things that he said, if I can sit here on this couch and share with y'all all of the things that I've shared with y'all, if Natanya Rubin can come forward and talk about how she was powdered in the face the night that Shine was there, the night that J-Lo threw the firearm out the window, like if all of the, if Gene Deal can say the things that he has said, if all of the people that can come forward and say all of these things, and understand this, we ain't a group of friends. We're all not a group of friends.
Right.
We're all different people whose paths have crossed throughout the years for one reason or another, who have very similar information all regarding the same kinds of people. Correct?
Correct.
Then tell me something. How am I a liar when I say everybody know about it? See, that's the problem. Everybody's still trying to pretend like they didn't know about it. Everybody's still sitting there trying to pretend like this ain't all common knowledge. Yeah, Diddy only freaked off with 4 people. And everybody else was hired while he directed his own little personal film. Like, fuck out of here. Y'all want to be stupid? Y'all want to sit there and play make-believe? You can play make-believe, but you cannot unhear what you heard. Y'all know what it is. Question is why y'all wanted to go, why y'all want to pretend so bad? And why you want to attack the people and go after the people that were brave enough to say something about it, to try to help spare the few. that haven't got caught up into the dragnet of hell and the devil. When I think about every person that comes up to me when I walk out into this very real world and they say, thank you, you helped me, you saved my life. Thank you for your information. I was about to take my daughters to that audition. I changed my mind, and then I heard this on the news, and I heard about this lawsuit. Man, that could have been my kid. Man, that could have been me. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for being brave enough to come forward and say something. I'm not. And nobody else should be either. You just got to ask yourself. You know, the one thing that Katt said on Shay Shay that it seems like everybody missed, especially now, was that the biggest job of people in the Shluminati is to pretend like none of it's real, to pretend like none of it happened.
Hollywood may call Katt Williams controversial, but in reality, he's one of the few who refuses to be controlled. Dave respects that, even when he disagrees with him, because both men know the same truth. Freedom in Hollywood is the rarest luxury of all. But that brings us to the real question. If telling the truth in Hollywood comes with such a heavy price, how many are still brave enough to pay it? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.